Hello, welcome back to SEO Daily from Yeseo. I'm your host, Andrew Laws. Yeseo Daily, SEO Daily is a part of the Untitled SEO podcast. Today, we're going to talk about brand, your name. Your name is really important to Google. When picking keywords for SEO, we target the things that people search for. So if you're selling spoons, we'll target spoons. That's a very quick rundown on how keyword research actually works, but the point is we want people who are searching for the things you sell to find you. That's SEO. But how does Google know you're the right people to sell spoons? They look at a number of things, many things, and your brand is one of them. Google loves brands. The reason they love brands and the reason having a strong brand will increase your rankability is because brands are very difficult to fake. So what Google's on the lookout for is people building a website on a Monday, putting the content on a Tuesday, suddenly having thousands of backlinks on the Wednesday and ranking number one on the Thursday. That's what they're on guard for, because if Google starts pointing us via their results pages to poor websites, Google goes away, becomes much less popular. So because brands are so bloomin' difficult to build, I nearly swore then, I'm yet to swear on this podcast. Because brands are so difficult to build, Google can have a bit more faith in them. They can have a bit more trust in them. Think about it. If you're a really big brand, if you're NASA and you're going to write a controversial piece about monkeys in space, Google's going to go, well, it is NASA, so they probably know what they're talking about. So how did Google figure out which brands are trustworthy and which ones are worth listening to, or at least putting higher up in search results? Well, they have a look to see how many times those brands are being talked about. These are your brand mentions. That's why if you're trying to build links to your website, if you always just put spoons or whatever your target keyword is, it's not massively natural. If you really were that good at selling spoons, there'd be people in forums and on social media saying, do you know what? If you're going to buy a spoon, mate, make sure you buy a Yeseo spoon. I bought a Yeseo spoon and it's the best spoon I ever bought. Google pays attention. They really do. If they see your brand name, in this case, Yeseo, and next to the product, spoons, they start to go, do you know what? An awful lot of people who are talking about spoons are mentioning the Yeseo brand. That would be weird. It's a kind of a safety net for them. It's a safety net, and it's a way of the algorithm better understanding how important any brand is and how linked to a product your brand is. So 20 years ago, everyone was starting companies with names like Superb Owl, although that would spell Super Bowl. Yeah, they were trying to put search terms into their company names. And Google said, stop. That's lunacy. Don't do that on our account. Just about the same time they said, don't bother with exact match keyword domains. So if your company's called Bob Broomhilda and you sell spoons, don't use the domain name spoonsarbest.com. Use your brand. So how can you prove to Google how excellent you are? Remember, the core message that I keep coming up with in these daily podcasts is SEO can amplify excellence, it can't conjure it. So how do you build brand mentions? Well, if you've got enough budget, hire a PR team and get people talking about your brand. Other ways you can do it, make sure you're on social media. It's difficult to get good traction that way because the currency isn't very valuable when it comes to SEO. Google doesn't look at it much unless you've got thousands of links, and for the love of gravy, don't fake that. I would say the easiest thing to do is to ingratiate yourself on some discussion boards and forums. Yes, they still exist. Or find discussions on Reddit. Remember, you're wanting mentions of your brand. The mentions of your brand don't necessarily have to link back to your website. Nice if they do, not a big deal if they don't. Send out press releases. Gather reviews on FIFO or TripAdvisor or whatever's relevant to you. Speak to people, speak to other people, speak at events. Because if you speak at an event, if it's a good event, there'll be a little biography on the website that says, "Here, that's Jim from Bob's Spoons. He knows all about spoons, that bloke." In fact, those links can be really valuable for SEO, so they're particularly worth tracking down. I'm going to wrap it up there. The message for today is, like Oscar Wilde said, the only thing worse than negative backlinks in SEO is not being talked about in SEO. At least I think that was an Oscar Wilde quote. Any questions, let me know. Please like, subscribe, and imbibe. There you go. There ends today's episode. See you tomorrow.